We put the sports in the spotlight. Last week's games was crazy. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. You already know Hawk Life is sharing it around, so I'm gonna talk for a little bit before I get into the games and the you know what I mean who won and who lost. Man, that was probably the worst week for us picking our picks. Please ignore the airplane in the sky, whatever. But I don't know what the fuck that is. It might be a train, but yeah, it was a one of the worst weeks we had. Where we got a lot of them wrong, a lot of upsets, even more than week. I think it was week 9 or week 8, but whew, it was crazy to say the least. It was wild. The amount of games that we didn't guess correctly. I have the book right here. All right, so we're gonna get straight into it.
Mm-hmm.
He's going through some medical issues, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. Little announcements and stuff. Right now, we're gonna focus on the sports. So,
Okay.
uh, Lyric had 108. He wasn't here, so we gave him everyone that we won together. We give it to him. No, he's at like 113, but he was it was between me and Hawk Life. He kind of lost too many, but this week I'm at 130 predicted games, and Hawk Life's at 122. He's 8 behind, but we know there's 3 weeks left for the season pick championship. We're gonna be doing the playoff picks, which is gonna be different. Who can predict the playoffs more? And the Super Bowl will be double points, and we'll still leave the week of the Pro Bowl will also count as a point for the AFC or NFC if you pick your side. I'm pretty sure we already know what side we both gonna be on. So that's where our team is at. But yeah, playoffs will be a point each game, double point for the Super Bowl if you pick the Super Bowl. But this week, a lot of upsets. We're gonna get into it right now. The Patriots 21, Steelers 18. No one got that right. Texans 6, Jets 30. No one got that one right. Rams 31, Ravens 37 in a crazy game overtime. We all got that one right. Packers 6, Saints 28. We all got that right. Colts 14, Bengals 34. No one got that right. Bucks 29, Falcons 25. Hawk got that right. Right. Hawk Life got that right. Jags 27, Browns 31. No one got that right. Lions 13, Bears 28. No one got that right. Seahawks 16, 49ers 28. We all got that right. Vikings 3, Raiders 0. We all got that right. Broncos 27, Chargers 7. We all got that right. Bills 20, Chiefs 17. No one got that right. Eagles 13, Cowboys 33. Chief got that right. Packers 22, Giants 24. No one got that right. Titans 28, Dolphins 27. No one got that right. So like I said, I'm at 130. Hawk Life's at 122. Crazy week. Bad week for both of us, but we still where we was last week. So, but this week we'll get into the games and I'll explain some of what I want to say about this week because there's a playoff chase right now. And a lot of teams have the potential eliminated out of being in the playoffs this week. Not officially eliminated, but if they lose, it's going to be hard. They got 3 games left, including this week. So the Chargers are 5-8 versus the Raiders, who are 5-8. And I went with the Raiders on this one. The Raiders are at home. Justin Herbert's out. I don't know what they're gonna do with that one. But I do think the Raiders would win that game because of him being injured.
Yeah, my fault. That's the Raiders versus the who?
Chargers.
Okay,
They're
good
both
game.
5-8.
Hmm.
Raiders at home.
Good game. Good AFC game. Raiders Chargers. It's been unpredictable, boy. It's tough to call some of these with some of these upsets, jeez. But it's gonna be a good AFC game. Honorable mention probably for a game of the
I wouldn't say
but
that.
because I mean
They fighting who can get closer to the playoffs. Okay, that's not a playoff game. I don't think either one of these
I
teams is gonna
understand
make
that.
it.
I understand that. I'm just saying, being that it's AFC teams and how AFC teams play usually when it's division or conference games, it's real good game.
Yeah, it could be.
But
It is but
I would say
division, but when
Oakland though. Oakland with this W.
yeah, we both. So now for this next game, I'm gonna start off with this. I never showed favoritism for the game of the weeks. I just usually went with who had more wins, more than likely, like who had the best records going against each other. But now this week, I switched it up to playoffs. Playoffs in mind. The Vikings are 7-6 versus the Bengals 7-6. Bengals at home. This is my first game of the week because the Vikings, they only got 3 points last week, but they still won 3-0. But both of these teams are fighting to be in the playoffs or stay in the playoff bracket. Um, Especially when there's so many teams at 7-6, you can't take a loss right now if you hunting for the playoffs. But for this one, I went with the Vikings. Um, yeah, I'm not like Bengals. I bet all your Vikings made, what I mean, moves to help their team. But this one, you really can't go wrong with either side, to be honest. The Bengals are scrapping. Vikings coming off of a win, but not a good showing. But
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with the Vikings on this one. I just feel like they can get it done. Especially with all the upsets. I think if the Vikings did beat the Bengals, even though they're both 7-6, that would be an upset to Cincinnati if they beat
Mm.
Cincinnati. So I went with the Minnesota Vikings. I said, fuck it.
Vikings Bengals. This is a good one. This is a good one.
Yeah, my first
It's
game of
like
the week.
it's a good one. Actually, I can probably agree with that. It's my first game of the week because I like this matchup. Um, I don't know. Is Jefferson back this week? I don't.
Yes. He's
That
questionable
change.
still, but he was there last weekend. So
It's a dynamic, so that brings in a lot. Shit. You got Burrow on the other side, Jamal Chase. You got a few weapons on that side
T.
as well.
Higgins,
Yeah,
Joe Mixon. The offense on the Bengals is not the problem.
it's
Even though
that
Joe
defense.
Burrow's being hurt and being injured and playing has been a problem, but it looks like he's got that fixed. It's the defense on both sides,
Mm.
really.
Hmm. I must say, I must say, excuse that doorbell. I must say, Minnesota. I just feel like they gonna do more.
I can see that. I went with Minnesota more off of the defensive rush too. They're going to be able to get to Joe Burrow if they, especially with Daniil Hunter. All right, next game: Steelers are 7-6 versus the Colts 7-6. My second game of the week for the same reason I gave the Vikings and Bengals. It's so close, so close, and this is AFC, so this one it might be more on the line than the Bengals, but the Bengals have to win to stay in the hunt with these two teams. But I hate both of these teams. I hate the Colts and I hate the Steelers. But the Colts are at home, and not only being the Colts being at home, the Steelers kind of got everybody shaking their head a little bit here of late. Um, so there's a lot of question marks over there. I think the Colts with their injuries, but Gardner Minshew's doing his thing. So I'm gonna go with the Colts on this one. It's very now. I will say Mike Tomlin has not had a season where he hasn't got above 500 either. So It was this one definitely had to be a game of the week, because you can see either one of these teams winning, and because of the playoff implications due to these two teams playing. So I'm gonna give it to the Colts though.
The Colts, and then you say the Steelers.
Yeah,
Colts and the Steelers. This is a good game.
Colts at home, both
Mm,
7-6.
this is a good game. I'm gonna say the Colts. I'm gonna say the Colts. I just
All
feel like
right.
Colts at home gonna have a bet, and they got better weapons on offense.
All right, this next one. The Broncos are 7-6 versus the Lions, who are 9-4. This is my third game of the week. um, the Broncos been doing crazy lately. The Lions have got a couple losses here of late. In the last 3-4 weeks, they've kind of been figuring out what to do. But I did go with the Lions. I feel like it is my third game of the week, so I do believe either team could really win this. But the Lions, if they still want to have a chance at a number one seed, they would have to play perfectly to get there, and they would have to, they would have to have the Eagles lose, and they would have to play perfect football. But the Broncos been playing great too, so I wouldn't be mad so on the Broncos. But I went with Detroit. I feel like this is a playoff type of game for them. Um, Even though they're not in the same division, I'm just saying it's a playoff type of game, though. It's somebody that you could see if you went all the way if they both got in. You don't know. But I will say the reason why the Lions had they mishaps and so had the Broncos, but I feel like the Broncos have showed us more mishaps than the Lions, so I went with the Lions.
Hmm. Broncos and Lions. But for sure, the Lions is probably the better all around team. Russell Westbrook done been a miracle worker at times. Uh, they have their targets who do well, but they're not consistent at times. Um, I'm gonna say Detroit though, because they've been on like a little run and they looking real good. They looking like a threat in the playoffs this year.
All right. This next game. Whoo! I'm wondering what are you going to say for this next game? Nah, I'm joking. It's the Giants 5-8 versus the Saints 6-7. Uh, this one I went with the Saints because y'all know how I feel about the Giants, but the Giants are 5-8 now. They slowly been jumping, but the Saints need this game, and I hate to say it, but especially this week, they cannot lose. They cannot lose. None of the
Oh
teams
my
can
god!
lose in that division except for the Panthers. Panthers, they don't. It don't matter what they do. But none of the teams out of the Saints, Falcons, and Bucks can take a L this week. And I think off of just that and the teams these three teams are playing, you kind of have to. Their playoffs are on the line, so you kind of have to.
Um, this is my second game of the week. You already know it. Who that? Who that? Who that? They say they're gonna beat them Saints if Cole play his ass right. Now that's what we gotta add to the end of our chant because he be fucking
I
up.
was just about to say there's 7
He
teams
be
that
fucking
said
up.
they gonna beat y'all.
I'ma keep it 100. He be fucking up. It was kind of rough against Carolina. Ain't no goddamn way. It should have been worse than what it was. But that let him know get Jimmy Graham the ball is a must. You get Jimmy Graham the ball, especially in the red zone, motherfucker. You
Yeah,
lacking.
he's a big
Um,
boy.
right. But I'm going for the Saints. I'm not going for the Giants. The Giants, but Saints offensive play has killed them in a lot of games. Hopefully this ain't one. And this is a must need because the last couple games, two are divisions and one or two others is not. So they might want to take these out of division games now. You know what I'm saying? This Giants game is almost like a gimme,
Yeah. Next game. The Bears are 5-8, pulling off some upsets, and the Browns are 8-5. Now I said the Browns was going to fall out of the playoffs, but who the fuck thought Joe Flacco, former Raven, was going to come in there and ball like that? Will it last? I don't think it will last because people are going to. I mean, he can sneak in a couple wins, but these next few weeks are going to show what he can do. But he still got it. He still got that arm. For that reason, I went with the Browns. I said, Bears are shaky. Not good, not bad. They shaky. No playoff hopes, but but a lot of these teams that I want to point out, I get a certain part of the season when you're not gonna make the playoffs. That's when your coach or your managers, they're like, if we can't play in the playoffs, let's kick some teams out of that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's gonna be a good game, but I'm gonna give it to the Browns because fighting. They have a chance to still be a number one seed if everything goes down the drain for a couple other teams in the AFC. I don't think they're gonna get the division because us Ravens are there. But hey, I like it. I like that game.
Bears versus the Browns.
And the Browns won.
Look, I'm mad that the Bears beat Detroit last week, and the Saints act like they couldn't fucking beat them. That pissed me off. Now, it's been that kind of season. It's been a lot of upsets, this and this. Obvious on paper, it'll probably tell you Cleveland, but it'll tell you this is going to be a good game as well. Because Flacco come from Baltimore. He sold out in Baltimore. Now he want to go in Cleveland and go crazy.
Well, people forget he went and played for the Jets and he went and played for what you call it? The Broncos.
Yeah,
didn't work out too much for him.
Lyric Lyra, we see you in the building. But I'ma definitely give this one to the Browns. I feel like I told people they might be they was a potential type team, and I still feel like that.
All right. Well, since he's here now, I'm gonna take a quick break to say he got a dental issue, and that's why he can't even talk right now or make music. So, that's killing, bro. But just want to clear that up. I was gonna wait for him to come in here. He told me he was gonna come in here, so I wanted to clear it up while he was in the room, so he can. If anyone has something to say, it would be, not behind his back and it per se. But I have more announcements on that too. But the next game, my sleeper game, is my sleeper, and I want to see where Hawk Life mindset at. This is the first time that you said, you either going. I don't know what you're gonna do with this one, but the Falcons are 6-7 versus the Panthers at home 1-15. I'm gonna go with the Falcons, and we know that. But I want to see what let me see what Hawk Life gonna say here. He say he never go for the Falcons this season, but you got the Panthers. I don't know what you gonna do. I don't know.
Fuck the Falcons. Quite frankly, we want the Carolina Panthers to win, so it's only fitting, it's only right, but still fuck the Falcons. I'm taking Carolina. Maybe this will be their second win this season. Who knows?
You better hope it is. But at the same time, if you saying the Saints over the Giants is a no-brainer, and you only got one more win than the Giants, and you can't go for the Falcons that got 5 more wins than the Panthers. No, they might come back and bite you. All right, so I had the Falcons, you had the Panthers. Next game, the Bucks are 6-7 versus the Packers, who are 6-7. Now, if we was gonna have an honorable mention for a game, it would be this one because it's not one of my game of the weeks. But the Packers been playing crazy, and the Bucks have been quietly getting some dubs. Now, last week I went with the Packers. And I said I should go for the Giants, but I'm gonna go for the Packers. But I said I wouldn't go for the Packers no more. But I'm gonna go back on what I said, and they lost. So now I'm definitely saying fuck the Packers. I'm going with the Buccaneers. I picked them to win out of y'all division. So hey, I got two Two teams.
The Buccaneers and the Packers.
Yeah, Packers at home though. Both 6-7.
Game of the week for me because it's another game of the week, and I say that because it's one of those games that I'm gonna be watching heavily to see the outcome of. I'm gonna say the Packers. The Packers been playing pretty well at home, and we need the Bucks to lose, so gotta stay
All
with the
right, so I
trend.
got the Bucks. You got the Packers. Now it's getting good. We ain't agreeing on teams, but we might agree on this next one. The Jets are 5-8 versus the Dolphins, who are 9-4. I'm going for the Dolphins. The Jets let me down every time, but the Jets do have a good defense. I think they'll be tested. I don't know what's up with Tyreek Hill. I don't know if he's playing or not. Uh, but I still think the Dolphins can't handle getting it done. But we all seen Tua without Tyreek Hill. So this is another one of them games. It could have, but it didn't have the playoff implications of the Bucks and Packers for honorable mention. But still a good game. But yeah, I'm going with Miami on that one.
Mm. Miami versus the Jets. I think that's a no-brainer. It's gonna be a good game, but it's more than likely Miami gonna win that game. They just got too many weapons. You just can't handle them all. You got Tyreek Hill going crazy. If Tua come out that pocket and start running, they might be in trouble. They got a few other weapons. The running back is pretty decent over there. They got some weapons on defense as well. The Jets got some stuff going, but they still working on. They just surviving at this point. I'm and Miami trying to make a push, so I'm gonna say Miami.
All right. The Chiefs are 8-5 versus the Patriots 3-10. Patriots at home, and the Chiefs been letting me down lately. But I can't go with that big of an upset, even though I wouldn't be mad if it happened. But I went with the Chiefs. But the Chiefs have been letting games go close. But the refs had the argument with the refs and the you know the rules with the foot on the line. We can go through that later after the show if you want to about does he have an argument? If you know you ain't supposed to put your right foot on the line of scrimmage, but you can put your left foot on the line of scrimmage, you do accordingly. It's the rule. Everyone has the rules, and you can't expect a ref to warn you that he about to throw a flag. That's unfair. The defense already got so much against that they can't do. You can't be like, hey, back up a little bit because I'm about to throw this flag on you. What that, you know what I mean? Like, you can't do that. That would be the actual cheating. You could say the refs cheated you, but they would actually be cheating if they gave you a warning. That just sounds stupid to me. You're supposed to know where you line up in the National Football League. But, yeah, I go with the Chiefs over the Patriots, even though they're at home. And a lot of people are after Bill Belichick's job. We can talk about that. Do you think they're gonna let him go? But yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs. Even though they've been excuse my friends, they've been a bunch of bitches lately with with the way they've been treating them losing games. I'm just gonna point that out. My personal opinion, like shit.
That's one of them. That's one of them. The Patriots and the Kansas City. Now y'all know I've been on my home trip all season. Pause. And he been fucking up some games. These last couple. But still, I'm gonna ride with him in this because I don't think the Patriots have
Well,
a
and,
chance.
and, and individual play,
Mm-hmm.
I would say the wide receivers been fucking up
Oh
the
yeah, let's say
most.
that. Wide
But
receivers been fucking up.
I mean, the defense playing good. Mahomes still Mahomes, and Travis Kelce still Travis Kelce. But I don't know what they're doing with receivers over there. It kind of remind me of the Ravens. That's why I said that take earlier. All he has is Travis Kelce. Remember when the Ravens ain't had nobody to pass the goddamn ball to a wide receiver? You remember that? Now, since they want to compare him to Patrick Mahomes, what you gonna do with no receivers and just a tight end? That's
Yeah.
all I gotta say. The next game, we both went with the Chiefs, by the way. The next game, the Texans are 7-6 versus the Titans, who are 5-8. And I like the Texans. I've been saying it all year. Rookie of the year candidate for me to win it. I like the Will Anderson rookie. I kind of like the team. but I went with the Titans. I had it after last week. I said, all right, Titans, I believed in you in the beginning of the year. I believed you would be better. But I just have a feeling. It's one of those games I had a feeling, and every time I have a feeling, I still go with the pick that makes more sense. But I have a feeling, just like last week when I said the Giants were gonna beat the Packers, but I still went with the Packers. That's how I feel now. I'm like, nah, I'm going with the Titans this time. I feel like they're gonna beat them. But the Texans are playing to be in the playoffs, though. So they got more on the line. But I feel like the Titans is going to be that team that's going to upset a lot of playoff teams here in the next couple of weeks, possibly. I'll say that. But this week, yeah, they're gonna get the Texans, I think.
Titans versus Texans. The youngster been doing his thing, but Tennessee been doing their thing too. I'm gonna say Tennessee in this one.
Oh, I thought I had a hot take. He agrees. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
The 49ers are 10-3 versus the Cardinals 3-10. Opposites.
Damn.
For a second before I made my pick, I said, is this gonna be like that Cowboys game where the Cardinals throw an upset in there? That's what the Cowboys are hoping for. But I still went with the 49ers. I just feel I feel like they could take on the Cardinals. I mean, but with all the upsets that's been happening lately, whew, that would be the biggest upset of the year if the Cardinals can pull off beating the 49ers and getting them out of the number 1 seed. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
I agree with that take because it's been happening a lot like that. It was like that last week, but I feel like the 49ers been on a tear. And I think they're gonna be a little bit too much for Carolina. The Cardinals. So I'm gonna say the 49ers.
All right, the next game, the Commanders are 4-9 versus the Rams, who are 6-7. Like Hawk Life would say, I saw the Rams closely last week, and I'm gonna go for them this week, because they're at home. I feel like they have the more weapons offensively and defensively. I would go with the Commanders is even with the Rams ever since they got rid of Montez Sweat and Chase Young, but I think it's gonna be a good game, but I'm gonna go with the Rams on that one.
Rams Commander, crazy one. This could be a game of the week. It's gonna be an interesting one. Matter of fact, I am gonna make this my third game of the week. This is gonna be an interesting one right here. I don't think it's too much playoff implication. I'm just saying as far as play wise. But the Rams have been a better team this year. But the boys can pull up some upsets if they play right. But I'm gonna still say the Rams on this one.
All right, this is my 4th game of the week. The Cowboys versus the Bills, 7-6. Bills at home. Everybody's been saying Bills back. I don't believe that. I'm just gonna say that. I feel like the Cowboys are gonna beat them, but the reason why I made it my game of the week, the Bills are fighting to get in the playoffs. So this is like a playoff vibe to this game as well. And I wouldn't be mad if someone went with the Bills, because when you lose to the Cardinals and you lose to certain teams that you should have beat, the Cowboys are known for that. They're known for not beating a team they should. Not saying they should beat the Bills. It's still going to be a game, but I wouldn't be too surprised of an upset if it did happen, but I don't think it is. I went with the Cowboys.
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. The Bills been off and on. Like I say, it could be upsets. You never know. I don't think it's gonna be that many this week compared to like last week. And this one of them I don't think gonna really be an upset.
All right, this next game is my last game of the week. The Ravens 10-3 versus the Jags. Oh, you still got 2 games of the week. So was that a game of the week, Cowboys and Bills? There's only 3 games left.
No.
Okay. The Ravens 10-3 versus the Jags 8-5. This is my last game of the week, and this is Hawklight's fourth game of the week because there's only 2 games left anyway. So, uh, I I do like the Jags a little bit play wise. They've been messing up here and there, but on for my Ravens. I mean, how hurt was Trevor Lawrence? I mean, it seems like he's doing all right. So, but this is probably my number one Spotlight Sports number one game of the week for me, like the best game of the week, because these 2 teams are fighting and scrapping to get to the number 1 seed. If we beat the Jaguars, they're not going to be the number 1 seed. So they have to play perfectly, and they have to beat us to get there. So it's going to be a huge game for both sides, and see who folds underneath the pressure type of game. So this is not our biggest test of the year, but I do feel like this is one of the more on the line games of the year. It has more on the line, so I do go with the Ravens. Though we already know that, but the Jags are at home.
Ravens. Like he said, my 4th game of the week. Big old NFC game, AFC game, playoff implications. Maybe a preview. It's
Damn sure could be a preview.
I'm not gonna lie, Baltimore been pissing the people Kool-Aid as of late. There's been some things that's going on up, you know what I mean? Probably in the last couple of games, we may have lost 1 out of the last 3, 4, well, outside the last 5, maybe. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure you're gonna correct me.
Yeah, it's one. It's been 1 out of the last 5.
Yeah, and I feel like they just outright probably the better team. I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna be out this week anyway. I think that gives advantage Baltimore, but I still feel like Jaguars one of the teams, man. It's like if you're looking for upset, they could probably be one of them games. I don't know, but I'm picking Baltimore. I'm not picking upset. I'm picking Baltimore.
The last game on the schedule for this week is the Eagles and the Seahawks. Eagles are 10-3. Seahawks are at home 6-7. This is Hawk Life's last game of the week. But I went with the Eagles. I told you they were going to lose to the 49ers. Then I told you they were going to lose to the Cowboys. But I'm telling you this week, I don't think they're going to take 3 in a row. And I don't think Seattle even has. Now, if it was Seattle early in the season, how they were playing earlier in the season, we might be having a different talk here. But we're talking about a team that's really fallen off in the last 4 weeks, last month, as far as what they were when the season started in the first four games of the week, or first 4 games in the season compared to these last 4 games in the season. Nah, I think the Eagles are going to take the Seahawks out on this one.
Well, let me say this. Eagles already clinched a playoff berth. I'm pretty sure. So I'm not to say they're not gonna go play out hard or no shit like that, but they gonna go out and play.
No, I don't think the Eagles have not clinched no playoff yet. Okay. I don't think so, because the Cowboys are right there behind them. With they 10-3.
Okay.
But wait. They might have clinched they might have clinched a playoff. You're right, but not maybe. But they don't have the division yet. It's not in stone yet. There's only 4 10-3 teams.
Okay, so yeah, this is a must needed win. I'm gonna say for Philly then. No, I don't think it's gonna be 3-0 neither. This is my last game of the week. I don't think it'll be no 3-0 either. Geno and Seattle been letting me down, and I feel like they ain't gonna be able to handle Philly, man. It's just not. They gonna try and do what they do, but know they got to get a W, and this will get back on track, and they're gonna get back on track in this one. So yeah, like I said, I never saw Philly lose back to backs this year, so I don't think it's gonna happen here.
All right, before we get, it's not time yet. Hold on, everybody. It's not time. Before we get to the NBA, I got one question that I want to tag on to the end of this. like I just said, there's 4 teams in the NFL that are 10-3.
Hmm.
All right. So this is the game. You got to put them in order, but you can only do a top 3 teams in the NFL out of these 4. So one's got to go, and you got to put 3 in order. And those
Mm-hmm.
teams are the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Ravens, the Eagles. Out of these 4, which one gets booted out? And then who from 3 to 1, where you got it?
You say the 49ers, the Ravens, the Cowboys, and the Eagles, right?
Yes. Out of these 4
Mm.
teams, which one are you pushing to the side? And then which are you putting in the top 3, and where are you putting them in your top 3?
Mm. You gave me 3 NFC teams and 1 AFC team. Okay. Shit. Since Baltimore the only AFC team, okay, and we talking playoff implications or Super Bowl implications? What we
Just
talking?
who's the best team right now? Who
Oh,
you can put that in your mind, like who gonna win the Super Bowl. You can put that, but it's just really if you
who's
had
the
to
best
make,
team?
yeah, out of these 4, which one would you not put in the top 3?
Hmm. Hmm.
I'll make it easier for you, Hawk Life, because you know my number 1 team is the Ravens, so I'm gonna put them number 1.
Hmm.
Then I'm gonna put the 49ers number 2. Then I'm gonna put the Cowboys number 3, and I'm taking the Eagles out of it.
Wow.
Yeah, I like defense
Wow.
more. I did it
Wow. I'm gonna tell you like this. Hit hit. Um, I'm gonna say the Eagles number 1. I'm gonna say the 49ers number 2. And I'm gonna say shit, this is where the dilemma at. I'm not gonna lie. Because the Cowboys can be a good team, but they gotta make the playoffs first. And that's gonna be tough.
Oh, we in the playoffs.
So,
Just gonna
so
let you know.
it's shit. So I'm gonna say Philly, I'm gonna say Philly, 49ers, Philly number 1, 49ers number 2, and Baltimore number 3.
Hey, you kicking the Cowboys
Cowboys.
out.
Cowboys out. I don't think they're gonna make the
All right,
playoffs
all right,
anyway.
all right, all right. One more question. Who do you think is gonna, out of all the 7-6 teams in the league right now fighting for playoffs? Who you think gonna make it? Actually, I know you'll say the Saints for yours. We're gonna talk about out of those 3, but I'm just saying if it's the Vikings, the Bengals, the Colts, the Steelers, the Broncos, the Texans, which one of those teams are you like? Nah, they locked in. They gonna go there.
Mm, mm. But the Saints, for sure. I don't think they fully locked in, but they gonna go there. Um,
Oh, they're not fully locked in. You got 3 teams: Saints, Falcons, and Buccaneers are 6 and 7s. Out of that division, we can talk about that one real quick. I still feel strongly that I don't think the Saints gonna make it to the playoffs. I don't know. So for me, I wouldn't be mad if they did, but it's just you got there's a lot on the shoulders. But
mm,
I do say they have one of the better schedules. It could be tied with Atlanta, but they might have the number 1 easiest schedule for the rest of the go after the Giants. Especially where the Bucks got to play the Packers. You know what I'm saying? But I can see it right there. I just feel like it's an argument uh for any side.
mm. I don't know. I said there's teams in there that can make a push at 7-6. I feel like some gonna make a push at 6-7. Then on the AFC side, I feel like teams that 7-6 on the AFC side, who they got?
Colts, Steelers, Broncos.
Hmm. Colts, Steelers, Broncos. I'm gonna say the Colts. I think the
And I was
Colts.
gonna say them too, even though I hate they fucking ass.
No, I think they can do
But
something.
I might go with the Broncos. I might go with the Broncos.
Mm.
But they would
That's
have to beat the Lions though. That's where I'm like, uh, shit. You know what I
it could
mean?
be possible.
It could be. But now this is where I say it's time to put the NFL down and pick the NBA up. I'm gonna go get my lighter so I can light this cigarette. But we do not promote smoking cigarettes on this channel. You know what I'm saying? For the young ones. But this is about to get crazy. This is about to get crazy. I know we about to talk about the end season tournament after this. We'll save that for after. I know there's a lot of games that happened that went crazy last week on our Thursday, Friday, and Monday, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm ready for this week, but I know there's a lot of games this week. But I'm ready to talk about these.
Okay. Let me pull them up. It's hard to yell when that barrel's in your mouth. All right. Y'all know what time it is. It's basketball time. And we gonna get in it. We got some questions, we got some news, and we got some. It's jam packed in the basketball. It's a lot that's been going on. We're gonna talk about the in tournament. We're gonna talk about who won. Oh my God, it's about to be explosive night in basketball, and I'm gonna start it off right with the scores from the last game. First, I'm gonna tell you where we ended off at on the scorecards. Doom, doom, doom. On my paper. Chifa had 68. I had 69. That's where we at from coming off last week. Now, you know we had a lot of games this week. So let's get into them. First game was the Pacers from Thursday night. Was the Pacers versus the Bucks. We both picked the Bucks. The Pacers won 128-119. So we both lost that one, and that was also Chiefs' game of the night. Next game was the Pelicans versus the Lakers. Chief picked the Lakers. I picked the Pelicans. The Lakers won. That was my game of the night.
Dun, dun,
Now we going
dun.
dun dun dun. Then we go into Friday. Oh, let me push this away. I can't see shit. Then we go into Friday. Pistons versus the Magic. We both picked the Magic. The Magic won. 123-91. Next game was the Hawks versus the 76ers. We both picked the 76ers. The 76ers won 125-114. That was also Chiefs' game of the night. The next game was the Raptors versus the Hornets. Chief picked the Hornets. I picked the Hornets. The Hornets won 119-116. Next game, the Wizards versus the Nets. We both picked the Nets. The Nets won 124-97. Next game, the Knicks and the Celtics. We both picked the Celtics. The Celtics won 133-123.
It sounds like we did better with the NBA picks.
Yeah. Next game was the Warriors versus the Thunder. The Thunder won. We both lost that one. And the score was 136, 138.
Dog
Um,
fight.
yeah, Cavaliers versus the Heat. Chief have picked the Heat. I picked the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers won. 111 to 99. Next game was the Timberwolves versus the Grizzlies. We both picked the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies lost. The Timberwolves won 127, 103. Next game is the Bulls versus the Spurs. Chief picked the Bulls. I picked the Spurs. The Spurs lost. The score is 121, 112. Next game was the Kings versus the Suns. We both picked the Suns. The Kings won 114, 106. Next game was the Rockets versus the Nuggets. We both picked the Nuggets. The Rockets won 114, 106. Next game was the Clippers versus the Jazz. We both picked the Clippers. The Clippers won 117, 103. Next game is the Mavericks versus the Trailblazers. We both picked the Mavericks. The Mavericks won 125, 112. Let's get into Monday. Okay.
Bruce Buffer over there.
Let's get ready to rumble. All right. Monday. First game of Monday was the Wizards versus the 76ers. We both picked the 76ers, and the 76ers won 146 to 101.
Yeah, look like a 2K game.
Yes. Next game was the Cavs versus the Magic. We both picked the Cavs. The Magic won 104-94.
I told you Pablo be going off, man.
Yeah. Next game is the Pacers versus the Pistons. We both picked the Pacers. The Pacers won 131, 123. Next game is the Heat versus the Hornets. Chief picked the Heat. I picked the Hornets. The Heat won 116, 114.
Dog fight.
Yeah. Next game, Nuggets versus the Hawks. We both picked the Nuggets. The Nuggets won 129, 122. Next game was the Raptors versus the Knicks. We both picked the Knicks. The Knicks won 136, 130. Next game, the Jazz versus the Thunder. We both picked the Thunder. The Thunder won 134, 120. Next game is the Spurs versus the Rockets. Chief picked the Spurs. I picked the Spurs. The Spurs lost. The Rockets won 93 to 82. Very low scoring game. Next game, Timberwolves versus the Pelicans. Chief picked the Timberwolves. I picked the Pelicans. The Pelicans won 121 to 107. Next game, the Mavericks versus the Grizzlies. Chief picked the Mavs. I picked the Mavs. The Mavs won 120 to 113. Next game was the Bulls versus the Bucks. We both picked the Bucks. The Bucks won 133 to 129. Next game was the Nets versus the Kings. We both picked the Kings. The Kings won 131, 118. And the last and final game
So
was the
you still up by one.
possibly, yes. And the last game was the Trailblazers versus the Clippers. We both picked the Clippers. The Clippers won 132, 127. So, I get Chief for 17, adding more points. I give him 90. No, I'm wrong. That's 80. That gives him 80. And that gives me 17 more points. Damn, it was pretty much a tie score. 10, 11. Yeah, oh, that's an 8. I'm sure 90. I give Chief 85. I'm sorry. And me 86. So I'm still up by 1 point. Now, let's get into the games, the predictions of the games that we'll be predicting for Friday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, since there's no weekend games. Yes, there are. Correction. So, you got Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's what we're going to do Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Okay? For Thursday, first game we have is get the page set up to get my right on. We, okay. Okay. First game, Cavaliers versus the Celtics. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Boston.
See Boston. Okay. I can agree with that. I want Boston at home. That's gonna be a good game. Bulls versus Heat.
Ooh, that's another good game. Shit, I'm gonna go with the Heat again. I like the Bulls. I also do like the Cavaliers and what they do, but I'm gonna go with the Bulls. I mean the Heat, Miami, Miami Heat.
Okay. I'm gonna say Miami Heat. Um, just cause I feel like they got the better team. But yeah, that's why. Next game is the Nets versus the Nuggets.
I'm gonna go with the
I mean, I'm
Nuggets.
sorry. That's the one. Timberwolves versus the Mavs. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go with Dallas Mavericks.
Okay. I can agree with that too. That's an easy call. Next game is the Nets versus the Nuggets.
I'm gonna go with the Nuggets. Home court advantage this week is strong.
Yeah. That's another probably no brainer. So I'm gonna go with the Nuggets too. Ain't nobody on the Nets can check Joker. Next game is the Jazz versus the Trail Blazers.
I'm gonna go with the Jazz on that one.
Mm, mm. You know, that'd have been a different dynamic if Damian Lillard was still playing
Yeah.
for the Trailblazers. So I can kind of agree with that one too, because a lot of these is kind of no brainers. Thunder versus Kings is the next one.
Now that's a crazy game.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with the Thunder, even though I do like Sabonis and the Kings could get it done, but a little more star power on the Thunder for me.
Okay. I'm gonna say the Kings. I'm gonna say the Kings. I like the Kings at home. They play strong. Warriors versus Clippers. That's the final game for
Oh man,
Thursday.
that's a good game too. Um, I'm gonna go with the Clippers. They both got great bench. They both got uh, a great team on paper around them. I just feel like there's a little turmoil in Golden State, a little bit with Draymond Green's actions lately. So I'm gonna lean more towards the Clippers.
Mm. You know, that's a good point. But he never really made the team on the court. But they had their struggles this year. The Clippers been since Westbrook been coming off the bench, been having better games. And I feel like they got a few more weapons than the Warriors and less distraction. So I'm also say the Clippers. Now, which game is your game of the night?
Boston Celtics and Cleveland Cavaliers will be my game of the night. But there's a lot of good games this week that stuck out. Three of them to be exact to me. But out of those three, I'm gonna go with Boston and Cleveland.
Boston and Cleveland. Wow. My game of the night is the Warriors versus the Clippers. I'm looking forward to seeing Kawhi versus Curry. There's gonna be a lot of quality players on the court, so it's gonna be very entertaining for sure. Even though Draymond won't be on the court, he don't need to be on the court. We're gonna get into that later. Okay, we're gonna get into Friday now. First game: Pelicans versus Hornets.
I'm gonna go with the Pelicans, even though I want to be devil's advocate and go for the Hornets, but I'm gonna go with the Pelicans. I feel like they both been doing good here late. Uh, but I feel like the Pelicans got more to their team than what the Hornets had.
Mm. You know I gotta go with the Pelicans. That's the home team. Um, Next game: Pacers Wizards.
I'm gonna go with the Pacers.
Mm.
I'm not a believer of the Wizards right now. Until they make same thing with the Bulls is kind of hard until they make the moves that they're rumored to be making and the trades they want to get done. Until that happens and I get to see them, it just feels like there's something weighing on the team right now.
Mm. I can see that. You said the Pacers. Wizards at home. They're usually pretty decent at home, but still, I'm gonna go with the Pacers. Next game. Next game is Pistons 76ers.
Oh, I'm gonna go with the 76ers, even though I like the Pistons, man. But it's the 76ers big man. It's really who you have for Embiid. What's your game plan for him?
Mm. Mm. So you went with the Pistons 76ers?
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think the Pistons got enough weapons, even though they got a good young team. I don't think they got enough weapons to beat the 76ers. Next game is the Hawks versus the Raptors.
I'm gonna go with the Hawks on that one.
Mm, 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 mm. That's a good game. You say you went with the who?
The Hawks.
Okay, that's a good game. Uh, I do feel like the Hawks got the better team. There gonna be a few no brainers I feel like this week as well, and that's kind of one of them. Even though I like the Raptors team, I just don't think they gonna do enough to contain the trade. Magic versus the Celtics.
Boston. I like
Okay,
Pablo though. I like the Magic, but I gotta go with Boston.
I agree. I agree. Next game, Lakers versus the Spurs.
I'm gonna go with the Lakers.
Mm, he went with the Lake Show. You know I'm going with the Lakers. Yeah, I know I'm a Lakers fan. You know I'm a Lee Bryant fan. Stop playing with the king. Now, Rockets versus Grizzlies.
I'm gonna go with the Rockets. I like the Grizzlies. Don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna go with the Rockets on this one just because I have been going for them and they've been proving a little bit here of late. So I'm gonna go with them Rockets.
Okay, Grizzlies at home. I feel like this one they gonna have a chance to win, so I'm gonna see the Grizzlies. Knicks versus Suns.
Phoenix. I'm gonna go with the Suns.
Okay, which okay, hold on. You with the Suns. I'm also going with the Suns. Knicks don't have a damn chance. Um, which what game was your game of the week?
Some of the earlier games, they're. I don't think you'll agree with me on this one, but I'm gonna say it's the Lakers and Spurs. For me, it's just the new generation being represented by Victor Wembanyama, and then he's supposed to be the next big thing, and LeBron was in those shoes, and he is the big thing right now. No homo pause for all those crazy motherfuckers that want to start saying shit, but I just feel like that it's not really the teams for me. It's more of that, you know what I mean? The rookie. It's gonna be a game where he got to go against Anthony Davis too. So it's just like it's welcome to the NBA for Victor on that stage. I feel like I'm not saying he won't have a good game, but there's gonna be moments where he's gonna be like, "Yeah, this is different. this is different." But there is other games I would choose as well as honorable mentions, but that one was just the one that I personally would make my game of the night.
Okay. Um, I also feel like that. I've been waiting all season for that game to see that matchup between him and Anthony Davis. All the talk, see them go at it. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. Next game. Okay, now we get into Saturday. First game is the for Saturday is the Pistons versus the Bucks.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks. It's like the Pistons are always playing a crazy team on the weekends. So I'm gonna go with the Bucks, but I do like the Pistons. I hate. It's like, damn. It just feel like I gotta. I have to be realistic, but at the same time, I could see them losing to the Pistons, but I can't bet against the Bucks right now. For me,
I can't do it neither. Not against the Pistons. Um, I just feel like the Bucks got the better team overall. So yeah. Next game is the 76ers. Let me make sure. I believe it's versus the Hornets. I want to make sure because my writing sucks sometime. Yeah, 76ers versus the Hornets.
I'm gonna go with the 76ers.
You went with the 76ers.
I just feel like, I mean, Ball, LaMelo Ball, he's got Maxi that could keep up with him, and who's gonna keep up with Embiid from the Hornets for me. So I'm looking at matchups that could be a potential mismatch in a lot of games, and that one I just feel like he gonna eat. He gonna get his rebounds. He gonna get his points, of course. He gonna get sent to the line.
Mm, okay, I can see that. He beat the 76ers. Um, LaMelo be doing his thing, and B gonna do his numbers. True. Maxie been doing this thing, and it's gonna come down to who play better as a team in transition. Melo do his thing here and there, but this gonna be an uphill battle as far as the paint game. I don't think they'll be able to stop Embiid in the paint, so I'm going with the 76ers as well. Next game is the Hawks versus the Cavs.
I'm gonna go with Cleveland, the Cavaliers on that one.
I'm gonna go with the Hawks, even though I
So,
love what the Cavs are doing. The Hawks been Pacers versus Tims.
um, something I'm gonna go with the Timberwolves. Something telling me to go with them. Something telling me to go with the Timberwolves on that game. Even though I like the Pacers, I what they do, but their name fits them sometimes. They're the middle of the pack. They're the pace. They're the average line.
I like Carl Anthony Thompson and what they're doing with the Timberwolves and everything. Um, but I'm gonna have to say the Pacers. Just I feel like it's gonna be a slugfest, but I just feel like they're gonna come out on top. Next game, Bulls versus the Heat.
I'm gonna go with the Heat. I still stand on what I believe um about the Wizards and the Bulls right now for me. So I'm gonna go with Miami. I do like Miami. Um, maybe it's a little personal with some of the teams because I do like a couple teams, the players on there. But I think that one I wouldn't be mad if someone went with the Bulls, but I just can't put my eggs in a basket knowing that there's gonna be some eggs leaving soon. So that I ain't gonna have. So I don't know.
Nets versus Warriors.
Who you pick?
Hold on, which game that is? Bulls Heat.
Bulls and Miami Heat, yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
had picked it. I had picked the Heat. I feel like the Bulls got some issues going on with Zach Levine and everything, and the Heat and Jimmy Butler just I feel like they got the better team and the better chemistry right now. So that's why I picked the
Better
Heat.
coach too. But
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Nets versus the Warriors.
I ain't been on the Ben Simmons train lately, so I'm gonna go with the Warriors because I feel like he can cook with Draymond not being there, but if they can hit those threes, it's nothing you really can do with that squad when they're hitting their threes.
Even with Draymond not beating there, Ben Simmons and the Knicks don't have. I mean, the Nets don't have a fucking chance in hell. So I went with the Warriors. Next game, the Thunder versus the Nuggets.
That's gonna be a crazy game. But I'm gonna go with the Nuggets. I do like the Thunder a lot though.
I like the Thunder. They upset the Nuggets last time, but I want the Nuggets. It's gonna be better Nuggets at home. They get to get a redemption there. Mavs versus the Trailblazers.
Dallas.
Now these are Saturday games, y'all. If I don't know if I said it, that's why I said it. I'm also picking Dallas, but I do love. I know the Trailblazers is sort of kind of a rebuild, so yeah. Jazz versus Kings.
I'll go with the Kings.
That's big. I'm gonna go with the Kings, even though Jazz got a good team. Someone was telling me go the opposite way, but still I'm gonna follow that other gut of me that says stay with the King. Knicks versus the Clippers.
I'm gonna go with the Clippers.
Yeah, this probably a no-brainer. Knicks don't have a chance. Now, which game was your game of the week?
Thunder and the Nuggets for the same reason why I would give the Lakers and uh Spurs for the night before. But in this one, I'm not saying it's the the older generation versus the newer generation and all that. This is just off of the matchup of seeing how damn, what was his name? I just had it on my head. The rookie, Chet Holmgren, gets to go against Jokic. So I think that's going to be an interesting matchup to see the rookie take on one of the best. You really get that measuring stick and what he has to work on. Same thing with Anthony Davis and Victor. So I would have to give that one game of the night because I gave the other one game of the night for the same exact reasons, other than the older versus younger. Because Jokic is not that old. But I think that's actually going to be my game of the night too, because you got Gilchrist Alexander going up against Jamal Murray. It's like a good matchups that's going to be like, whoa, this is going to be crazy. You're going to see some crazy shit. So I would go with that.
I'm not mad at that, but I chose the Hawks versus the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell versus Trae Young. That aspect of the game, two young teams. So I'm gonna be excited to see that.
Yeah, I can see that one too. I just see more matchups being exciting in that. You know what I mean? In that Thunder and Nuggets game, there's multiple matchups,
I can see,
and that one is like a one-on-one. But they both hit three. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
they both cool. Someone gonna get their ankles broke.
We get into the news of the mother freaking day. Draymond Green was suspended indefinitely for smacking the shit out of smacking a player during a game. My first question is, was it intentional? And the second question is the suspension justified?
I don't think it was intentional. To the point, because he's kind of like it. It kind of looks like he's just shooing him away in a sense, but then it do look intentional.
Well, it was the person that he hit was Joseph Nurkic, the center for the Suns.
Yeah, but I'll leave that one in there. I can see both sides. I don't know. It kind of did look like it though. It was intentional a little bit, but the bigger question is, did he deserve to get suspended for the rest of the year? Right. For the rest of the year, and this might be a hot take. And like I said, it's his job to be the aggressor, but there's so many incidents in the last couple of years that he's had.
He just had one recently before this.
What I would have went for the rest of the season? No, I would have not. Would I gave him a 25 game suspension, 30 game suspension? He could appeal it. Would I have gave him a big suspension, but allowing him to come back later on to teach a lesson? It's like they slapped him on the wrist so many times they feel like they gotta put the cuffs on him. But if you would have took one of them slaps on the wrist and just gave him a bigger punishment or longer punishment, it might have sat right with him where the coaches tell him you can't do. Look, we want you to play that role, but we can't have it jeopardizing our team. Now it a little bit overboard. I would have probably suspended him till like a week or two after All-Star or to the All-Star break, just to be like, look, hey, and now you know next time. And gave him that warning. The next time some shit happen, your ass gonna be gone for the rest of the year. But am I mad at them for doing that? No, because he's had so many incidents with his own team, other teams. It's so many incidents that he had at some point. It has to. You don't want everyone else doing that. And everyone else being like, well, Draymond got away with it. Hey, this man pissing me off. I'm going to smack his ass and take a 3-game, 5-game, 10-game suspension. Fuck it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those. We gotta make you know what I mean? We gotta make a point.
Example.
Yeah, like an example out of you. We gotta make a point that we're not gonna allow this to keep happening. Yeah. But that's a crazy situation.
I would say that I watched the video and I kind of felt like it was most definitely intentional. Because it was like the fall, the way he fell. and then if he'd have just fell to the ground, cool. But he swung his arm like it wasn't like, oh, I'm falling, let me grab something.
That's why I said it kind of looked like a shoe, like he was trying to push away, like push him off of him a little bit.
No, he smacked that man, but I don't think the intention was to smack. I think the intention was to grab because he went to try to backhand grab, and you can smack a motherfucker trying to backhand smack, so the intention is still there. Um, do I think that spitching is warranted? Yes, I feel like if it was intentional or whatever, should have been just the second time in the altercation of that manner. Because if he was gonna fall, he should have just fell to the ground. There was no reason for him to swing his arm back. You know what I'm saying? He was already going to the ground, so it didn't make no sense for him to swing his arm back into the man's face. I said if you was trying to grab at his leg and you would hit his leg, but you hit his face. That's the difference. You had to know what you was doing in certain instances of that agility was the laws of physics, if you want to say. You think they make an example, and he needs this because he needs. I've been saying even back when the Jordan Poole shit happened that he was at fault, even though everybody was trying to throw it on Jordan Poole and talking about his ego. No, it's really Draymond. Draymond need to be humbled, and it's gonna be a humbling moment. Do I think the Warriors gonna get rid of him after this year? Absolutely. It's the second offense. It's getting to the point where
I don't think they get rid of him because they got rid of Jordan Poole for Draymond. I don't think they get rid of him.
see, this is a different thing. Now it's physical violence that's carrying on to games. It's a difference if it's in house, but it's carrying into games now. It's getting to a point where it's getting
Hold
repetitive.
on. Now,
It's becoming it's more. He's been a distraction. A lot of teams don't like organizations don't like distractions like that.
yeah, but what would be more? Okay, what would hurt the team more? You fighting with a teammate or you fighting the other team? So I feel like if they were gonna get rid of him, they would have got rid of him in the Jordan Poole shit. Cause that's you fighting the team. That would hurt you more on chemistry than you
because they can
fighting.
cover that up. They can dumb that down and make it seem like a certain. It's really about image. They can dumb that
But
down.
I'm saying effective. I'm talking about as a general
But when
manager.
he
You know
doing it
what's
on
going
the
on.
court, he look like an undisciplined player. Oh, we letting our players just do anything because he continues to do it. And after
I
a
don't
while,
think.
it builds up a reputation, and it looks bad on them because it's like, damn, y'all ain't got no discipline. Motherfuckers just running them up. You know what I'm saying? But when they get to the fucking their bottom line, that's when they're gonna do something about it. That's how I feel.
I just don't think they get rid of Draymond Green. Me personally.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to you, old fuckers. Turn your camera off. But yeah. And the other thing is, congratulations to the Lakers for winning the in-game tournament, winning them 500 big racks apiece. I think, however much it is. Um, that also get them a push for the playoffs. What you think about that? Was that made for LeBron, or did the Lakers earn that shit?
Anybody could have won the play-in tournament.
Mm.
I don't think it's that big of a deal that everyone's
Mm.
making it to be.
Mm. That's true. It could. That's what I think. That's what I think. You know, I think it was made to make teams that was struggling breakers feel a lot better, but it was definitely made and designed for LeBron because it's tough for him to win over there in the Lakers with the team. Conferences and
I don't
shit.
think it was made for LeBron. I think it's just something they implicated to get the ratings up. That's it.
That too. That
LeBron
too,
didn't
though.
need no in-season tournament. That shit really don't mean nothing, to be honest.
Right. I think it was probably a ratings thing, mid-season entertainment thing because you gotta think about it with basketball it's just running up and down the court but you add tournament on it then all motherfuckers thinking it's something special that is really not. So nobody say it could be a marketing situation, genius if it is, rather it means nothing or not.
It's not like
um
it's not like you win the in-season tournament and you get to be in the playoffs.
right, you get money though. They had a cash initiative this year. You win the
Yeah,
first
but
one,
I'm
you
just
got
saying
like
that if it was like,
500,000 or
hey,
something.
whoever wins this, you get a guaranteed spot in the play-in. Like you win the in-season tournament, no matter what your record is, you get a spot in the play-in if you don't make it to the playoffs. That would make it more interesting. But just to say it's a tournament and you don't really win shit but some money, they've got money every game. There's teams that don't even get 25 wins on the season and still get paid hella money. It just don't make a lot of sense to me. It's a marketing scheme for me. I don't think it's made for LeBron. I think they want more interest in the NBA because there's so many games you get caught not watching until the end of the season to start seeing your team make playoff breaks or fighting for the playoffs or just to see how good they are for the playoffs. So they had to have something interesting, like to catch everyone's attention. Because now it's going to be like they won the in-season tournament, but are they going to get to the playoffs? And that's what's going to make it. But I think they need to add in. All right, you know how there's 3 teams in the play-in. That one team that get 2 chances with a better record, they should make it whoever win the play-in, and they should make it on both sides. It shouldn't be all NBA. It should be a Western Conference play-in tournament and an Eastern Conference play-in tournament. The same amount of teams, and then whoever win from the Eastern and whoever win from the Western is guaranteed to play in the play-in if they don't make the playoffs. That would be interesting. That'd be like, okay, now it could backfire because then you're like, okay, these teams ain't going to play well after that, knowing they got a shot at the playoffs anyway, no matter what happens. But I think it's more interesting than just cash bonuses and holding up a trophy that's basically meaningless.
That's true. That's true. I can agree with that too. This been Spotlight Sports, man. But we keep the spotlight sports in the spotlight. Daylight. Okay. I mean, but Hawk Light. That's
Chief Wazee.
You know what
Can't wait
it is.
for playoffs.
Yes, sir. Playoffs gonna be crazy. Everything gonna be crazy. Basketball heating up in a crazy way. Make sure you tap in and make sure you in the building. Spotlight Sports, where we put sports in the spotlight. Peace.
Peace.